Riley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, July 28th. So today we have the moon in Sagittarius all day, and this should definitely have a little bit more optimism, a little bit more confidence in our attitude and our mood and our understanding and our perspective. We are trying to renew our faith, really kind of resurrect ourselves, if you will, and especially seeing how we should be kind of exploring new details, new information coming in that will help us actually see a little bit bigger of the chunk of the vision, of the dream, of the goal that we're trying to piece together at this particular point in time. So the moon in Sag has us very hopeful, has us aligning with big dreams, big visions. We may even bite off a little bit more than we can chew, but this fire energy provides us with a little bit of a brighter attitude, a lighter vibe, if you will. And we're definitely going to ride that wave for as long as it lasts. Now today we also have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, taking its place of power in Virgo energy. Go ahead, take a listen to the astro forecast about this. Pop open your Leo season e-guide to this particular astro event and really kind of capture what's going on, what you're focused on, some conversation, some ideas that are floating around. Because again, we will see Mercury go retrograde in this Virgo energy later on in August. And some of the topics and themes that are currently presenting themselves will likely be the major focus during that particular retrograde reflection. So there are 11 different aspects here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon. Mercury is going to try to kind of compete for attention here today with the moon. Mercury is going to interact with Pluto. Now keep in mind, Mercury is at the final degrees of this Leo energy. So anytime we're hitting those critical crisis degrees, there's always a little bit of added pressure, a little bit of added intensity, if you will. And because Mercury has been in this Leo energy, we are really pushing to get our heart and our head in alignment. We're really pushing to get a couple of things off of our chest, express ourselves fully, and really align with new, exciting passion projects, new ideas floating in. Well, Pluto's going to interact with Mr. Mercury here this morning, and this is going to be in such a way that is going to create a little bit of a bump, if you will, a crossroads point, an opportunity to see things from a different set of eyes. We're definitely going to be illuminated to some power struggles where it is that maybe we are doubting ourselves, where we're uncertain about a couple of things. We definitely have a layer of insecurities, fears, and doubts kind of being laid upon our headspace at this particular point in time. And it's really putting us in a situation where we may be second guessing ourselves. We may be trying to talk ourselves out of a certain path, plan, and direction. Either way, this is putting us in a situation where we do not feel confident enough to continue to push forward. So it may be that exactly what we need right now is to pause, is to stand still, maybe reassess a couple of things. And in the process of doing that, we will see a new direction, a new resolution actually emerge. Shortly thereafter, Mercury is going to trine, beautiful energy, with the North Node. The North Node, as you know, is now in this Aries energy, trying to get us on the right path in order to embody the qualities and characteristics that this Aries energy needs us to embody in order to take initiative, take the leadership role, put ourselves first, really blaze our own path, dance to the beat of our own drum, identify our own individual desires, and really become a little bit more centered within ourselves. Mercury interacting with the North Node in this way is definitely going to have some aha moments pop off, some realizations, if you will, some new ideas coming in on how it is that we do want to move forward, what we do want to kind of grow upon, what we want to stabilize, what we want to improve, what we want to progressively push the boundaries of in order to see a major change, a major transformation. The moon in Sagittarius is going to have its very first aspect, considering the fact that we did see the moon shift out of Scorpio energy into Sagittarius energy late last evening, but we didn't have any moon aspects once the moon actually locked into this Sag energy. So this is the first aspect that the moon in Sag is going to make, and it is a, let's say, a neutral aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer, who of course is now retrograde in this Aries energy. So what I like about this is that Chiron, being the wounded healer in this particular aspect, is kind of illuminating the healing part instead of the wounded part. And of course, we're going through a rebranding of self, an identity shift, if you will. And right now, the moon in Sag is really kind of adding that optimism back, that confidence back. We feel like we're able to rise to the challenge. We feel like we're growing. We feel like we're healing. We feel like we're on the right path of improvement. And of course, the moon in Sag is our cheerleader, is our hype girl, definitely pushing the boundaries of what it is that we are actually capable of. And again, lose yourself in the dream, bite off more than you can chew. Yes, you may be disappointed in a couple of days when you realize that, but it is better to kind of allow yourself to explore and really align with the new adventure and the possibilities that come along with it. The moon in Sag will make a positive interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. So what I like about this is, of course, Sag energy and Aries energy, they're both fire energies. So they play off of each other very well. What we're looking to do, first of all, is burn through the attachments, the cords, blocking us, holding us back from actually moving forward. Then the fire energy ignites something, a spark, a fire, a flame in our soul. And we're really getting excited. We're getting hyped up, thinking about the future, thinking about the possibilities, thinking about what it is that we want to pursue from here. And of course, all of that is progress. All of that is exploration of the possibilities that will help us really refine what it is that we want to bring to life. The moon then trines the sun. Love this energy too. It's another fire on fire energy. Of course, the moon, representative of the past, of our emotions, of our unconscious self, of our intuition. The sun, representative of the future, shining a bright light on what it is that we want to do, what we have to build, where we have to kind of create. And this is our egoic self, if you will. The overlap that we get is an illumination of this present moment, of the here and now. So of course, we are looking back on the past with a different set of eyes, a bigger, broader perspective and understanding, seeing why certain things had to happen. And the sun shining a bright light in this Leo energy, where it is that we have to be bold and brave and courageous enough to stand on our own 2 feet, to really empower ourselves, to express ourselves fully, to really get heart aligned and really identify what it is that we want to bring to life, what we want to create, that of course our heart is asking us to pursue. The moon is going to get into the boxing ring, fight it out with Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is the Lord of Karma. He is retrograde in Pisces energy, really helping us to see what we have to close the door on, what we kind of have to heal, what we have to release, especially where roles and responsibilities are concerned, where soul contract, karmic tough love, life lessons are concerned, where basically our belief systems are concerned. And, you know, the wisdom that we get from the Sag energy, because that is how we kind of accumulate what works for us and what doesn't. Getting into the boxing ring is a little bit challenging at this point because the moon in Sag is very hopeful, very, again, excited about the possibilities of the future. But the conflict here, the tension is that Saturn, first of all, brings us down a couple of pegs, really gives us a bitch slap of truth, a bitch slap of reality. And Saturn is saying, listen, that's great that you want to like dream a bigger dream here, that you want to fill yourself up with confidence and optimism. You just want to take on the world. But guess what? You haven't dealt with your past yet. You haven't cleaned up the debris. You haven't cleaned up your mess. You haven't provided completion and resolution points to some of the topics and themes that you are essentially trying to run away from, trying to avoid. So there is this little bit of a mix where, yes, the moon in Sag has us very focused on the future, has us very focused on the potential possibilities. But Saturn is like, yeah, okay, that's great, but let's deal with reality first. You know, how much time are you willing to spend? How much energy are you willing to waste on the could be's when you haven't lifted a energetic finger in order to clean up the what is? So this is a little bit of a harsh reality check for all of us, I would say. Now the moon goes ahead, gets into the boxing ring, this time with Mars. Mars, of course, the god of war. He rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger. Of course, Mars is in this Virgo energy. We're looking to clean things up, get organized, really kind of fix, solve, heal some of the particular topics and themes going on in our life right now. And I think that it's important that we also remind ourselves that Mars in this Virgo energy wants us to focus on exerting time, energy, effort, attention on our own health and wellness, restoring ourselves to a place of stability where we're feeling good, where we're taking care of our mind, our body, our soul. Yes, we do have tasks at hand. Yes, we do have to make up for quote unquote lost time, but we also have to be kind of structuring in new routines, new schedules in order for us to really address the health concerns in each and every single one of us. Keep in mind, we're moving into our selfish era where we have to restore ourselves to the strongest point so that we have the energy needed in order to kind of pursue our own path, really work on ourselves. So the moon interacting with Mars in this way, I would say, is probably going to highlight some frustration, highlight a little bit of agitation. We are going to feel that tension and that conflict because, of course, the moon in Sag feels like anything is possible, but is very much focused on the big picture. Mars in this Virgo energy, because Virgo energy needs to kind of focus on the smaller details, we don't really care for, let's say, the emotional push that the moon and Sag is pushing us into to focus so much on the future, really see the greater, grander picture, because Mars is only focused right now, he's got his blinders on, tunnel vision, on putting the smaller pieces of the puzzle together in order for the bigger, greater, grander picture to actually be revealed. So there's a little bit of a tussle back and forth. Emotionally speaking, we don't want to stick in this here and now. We don't want to be based in reality. We want to think about the highs, the beautiful opportunities and possibilities of the future. But without Mars being in this Virgo energy, focusing in on the smaller details on how it is that we're going to plan and strategize on how we're going to get there, all is really lost. So we are going to have to fight it out and kind of strike a balance between the two in order for us to plan and strategize the calculated moves needed in order to get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. 5:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we have Mercury move into its place of power in this Virgo energy. Again, please go listen to that astro forecast. Please go back, listen to July's energy forecast, the intro even, in order to understand how this particular aspect plays into the greater, grander picture of what we got going on here in July as we kind of close the door on July and enter into August. Again, pop open your Leo season e-guide, really take a snapshot of what's going on right now, because again, it's going to be super helpful for you once Mercury actually goes retrograde. The moon in Sagittarius is going to interact with Jupiter, its ruler, who happens to be in Taurus energy. And this particular interaction is going to provide another decision point, another choice point, another opportunity to really see the different options and possibilities available to us. Now, here's the thing. The Sag energy, of course, wants us focused on the future, wants to hype us up, wants us to really dream the biggest dream possible in order for us to really align with something that inspires and excites us. Jupiter, who's all about growth and expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, is all for it, really pushes the boundaries of biting off more than we can chew. But the problem is that, and I don't know that it is a problem, but Jupiter is in Taurus energy. Taurus energy is a fixed earth sign. Jupiter will be here until May of 2024, giving us a beautiful opportunity to take a very slow and steady approach to how it is that we are rebuilding our physical realms, our realities. And a lot of this revolves around the Taurus topics and themes, which of course is self-worth, self-confidence, and that flips over into the money issues, the values, the priorities that we have. It is illuminating routines and relationships, our long-term goals, if you will, and really just focusing in on our current resources, what we can tap into, what we can use to build and strengthen the bridge, if you will, to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. So this particular interaction is definitely going to have us feeling some very intense and probably very overwhelming energies, because there is this intensity from both Sag energy and Jupiter to just push and push and push and grow and take action and move and, all of this stuff, just magnifying where it is that we want to kind of hurry up, if you will. But the Taurus energy that Jupiter is in is not hurrying up for nothing. The only thing that we're hurrying up and doing is hurrying up and standing still here in this Taurus energy, which provides us with a little bit of an opportunity to stand back and observe what it is that we actually want to do, what direction we actually want to go, where it is that we have opportunities and possibilities to really grow and expand on what it is that we've already brought to life and have built. The moon is going to interact with the North Node once again. This time it is going to be a little bit of a realization on where it is, especially compared to earlier in the day, where it is that maybe we're coming up with a step, with a plan, with an action plan on taking a baby step and actually moving forward. But at the same time, the moon is going to go ahead only 3 minutes later, come into a semi-square, which is a tension point, a conflict point with Pluto, which screams the fact, because of course Pluto and the North Node, well, technically both of the nodes, North and South nodes, they're squaring off with each other right now, which is creating a little bit of a tension point, because there is this part of us that is ready to change, ready to transform in mid-metamorphosis, if you will, while the other part of us is holding on to the past for dear life, really creating a cluster F in the productivity, the progress that we're seeing, and actually being able to move forward. Now, this does lead to a little bit of a conflict within us, a little bit of a power struggle, if you will. However, we are going to come to some sort of aha moment, some sort of revelation, some sort of change in perspective and understanding, which of course acts as the domino effect in triggering us, rescripting, reframing certain situations of the past, and because of that, really transforming the way that we have been feeling about it. So definitely pay attention to the not so nice thoughts and feelings that are coming up, especially towards the end of the day, because that is what is asking for our attention the most, and that is likely where we have to put a little bit of extra energy and effort in making sure that we are shifting our mind space, shifting our emotional realm to a different perspective and understanding.